Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. It is the 17th of September and it's 20 past 11, but I thought I had a responsibility to do this video this evening. It's called Stay in Your Lane. I promise not to be cruel. Alright, pick a card, any card. Pick a card, any card. You know why? Because I want to make a point. You did a video with a toy. This is my toy. I can't find a Rubik's Cube. I want to make a point here. And I'm not going to be cruel. I'm not. You made it too easy for me to be cruel. But I want to tell you that I am a compassionate person and I am kind. I see that you're out of your depth, and I get it. I get it. And it's too easy to rip you apart. It's too easy. It's too easy to tear you apart. So the name of this video is Stay in Your Lane. Just stay in your lane. I never knew who you were, never heard of you in my life, and then found your Facebook page attacking me for 2 years straight. I didn't know who you were. Never heard of you. And to be honest, I knew you weren't up to this fight. I knew you weren't up to this challenge. I think that you were led astray. I think you were led astray. Somebody told you somewhere that you could go up against me, and they chain you up and they set you up to make you a fool. My video, Gloves Off, was to expose every attack that you and your handful of followers attacked me. Nobody in the PEP is sent to attack people of any kind, but especially irrelevant people. People who have no political future. They have no say in the conversation. And I want to tell you, because I want this to be, and I want the members to hear this. Let's close it now. Let's close it down now. Close down the whole conversation. Gloves back on. You're out of your league, and I don't beat up on weak people. So you just leave me and the PEP alone. Stay in all your lane. You all have decided, for whatever reason, that you all want to be a political party. Go ahead. Go ahead. Build your party. Build it. Don't use the PEP as your stepping stone. We're not going to like that. You see, we work very hard. This is not a game for us. We don't use toys and props. This is not a game for us. It's serious, serious business. You were born in Canada. Your life fixed. The first line of your bio says you were born in Montreal, Canada. Yes, you were born to Trini parents. I am born to parents of Syrian Lebanese heritage Portuguese and Spanish heritage. Should I go and run for prime minister or president in those countries? Should I bloom where I'm planted? This is where I'm born. Trinidad and Tobago, my country, my home. Only fight I fight is to make my home a better home. This is not a concept to me. This is not a place to visit. It's my home. I'm trying to make my home better. I, Philip Edward Alexander, didn't have to do this. Expose myself to all these trolls and sycophants and knuckle draggers from the PNM and the UNC and the histrionics of this child who chain you up and chain up poor Dilwood. Hey, Dilwood, we good, bro. We good. We good. I no more. Just stay on the lane. Just stay there. Build your thing. You're doing it long time. Keep going. Keep doing that. Don't use me. Don't try to use me as your political vehicle. And of course, to the people who don't understand what I'm talking about, ignore it. It have nothing to do with anything. But political attackers, I try to understand why you would attack me for 2 years. You're based in Canada. Why you would attack me for 2 years and ignore the PNM and the UNC that destroy the country? Why? Why? Why would you attack me for 2 years and ignore the PNM and the UNC that destroy the country? Why? Why? You and your crew have a mission. You do a little live video tonight and you say, you never attacked me. But your entire personal profile is attacks on me. And anybody who along that road, who's speaking for either the PNM or the UNC, that wanted to silence me, you were sharing their stuff. Why? I try to understand what was ticking in your mind. It baffles me. Because anybody knows that it's a long stretch for a third party to make it. Everybody knows that it's an even longer stretch if you don't have deep pocket finances. And well, we have a media blackout to contend with. All of my following. And I want your little friend, I didn't want to call her name anymore. I want to consign her to the political dustbin. I don't want to call her name anymore. And by the time she find your party, bro, in less than a year, she was politically beat out. She jumped in every political bed that would let her lie down. Beat out. And I want to tell her, all of this work and all of this following and everything that you see here is built on total commitment to this cause, despite the media blackout, despite the no money. We can't boost. I don't boost videos. You're boosting videos to what? To force yourself on people? If people like what you putting out there, they will share it. I'll tell you what a share on social media means. A share means either I endorse this or hear what they say. Tell me what you think. That's what a share means. Rarely, sometimes, there are people who like to make fun. Out of 500 shares, I get 1 or 2 people sharing it to make fun of us. And even their shares benefit us. Even their shares benefit us. So, at the end of the day, you have to decide what it is you're really about. If all your politics is about riding my coattails, friend, come on, man. Have some dignity. Have some self-respect. Have some. And stay in your lane. I don't want to be fighting you. I don't want to be fighting anybody. When they out of politics, I didn't take them on anymore. I didn't call them name. Once they're an obstacle to progress and the development of my country, we have to deal with them. Once they're gone, they're gone. But you're not even in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't understand how you end up in my lane. I don't understand how you end up concerning yourself with me. I still don't get that. I still don't understand that. And you put me in a position where I had to slap you down. I'm not proud of that. But it's 2 years of attacks. And now, to build your little movement, your handful of followers, I mean, I'm talking to Marissa last night, whole night, she's been messaging me, and I messaged her back, hi Marissa darling, how you going? Still not playing Backstreet Boys. And she's sharing your videos, and I cool with that. I cool with everybody. When I said that we fed Ali's family, I said it with pride. She came, we made sure that that's hospitality. People even twist that. I'm afraid to even talk about y'all and what y'all doing unless we fighting. You're telling me y'all want to work with us? You can't work with us. Y'all have no clue what we're about. We have a serious mission here. We're not looking to link up. That's what y'all are doing. I see somebody today tag me in a post. This one, and the PEP have to join up. PNM is the enemy. Friend, the enemy is the corruption and the mismanagement that has destroyed Trinidad and Tobago. I see no distinction between the PNM and the UNC. None. Maybe different amongst the thief, different type of mismanagement, different corruption, but same. And we can't link up with that. Because we came this far on ethics, integrity, character. We've stood an onslaught of attack after attack after attack. I am in multiples of court cases. What they do, what they try to do me, life, threats against life, assassination, defamation. Out of that muddy swamp, a real political movement has risen and is presenting itself to the people of Trinidad and Tobago as leadership. Do you know what leadership is? Leadership is not taking people where they want to go. Leadership is taking people where they need to be. And some of you will never understand this. Sonia saying, I'm new here and difficult to understand what's going on. Sonia, a couple people left the PEP a couple months ago and joined a political party based in Canada and South Korea and have been attacking me and us. And I had to respond because I only found out that the party was 2 years old and attacking us for 2 years. And I had to respond to them. And today, their leader put out a video and it was sad to watch. And I know when you boost a video and you get 4,000 views and you only have 21 shares, that's the people telling you that they saw for a minute and they closed it. They're not interested in that. They're not interested in that. And this, I hope, because my members, not my members, the members of the PEP, they're feeling so vindicated because they know after all that y'all have done and said, y'all still amount to not being able to challenge us on politics, on policy, on leadership, on patriotism, on commitment. We're still here doing the job. Attack, be damned. Everybody who wanted to get a bag of money from the PNM or the UNC thought, attack Philip, attack the PEP. Look where we are. Look where we are. 20 months later, we are the biggest political party. Somebody called me the Prime Minister of Facebook. No problem, friend. You will eat those words. You will eat those words. Because Barack Obama, Trinidad about 5 years behind the world. Barack Obama won President of the United States on social media, and they will see it happen here for the first time. For the first time, they will see it happen here for the first time. We have gotten here. Fazir Muhammad still looking for your bought and paid signed up members. We have 70,000 followers. The PNM don't have that. PNM don't have that. UNC can't think about that. One of your followers said that we measure likes and shares because we have nothing else. And I don't think that she gets it. That likes and shares on social media is an endorsement of what you're doing. So if your entire group and your entire page and all of your posts together can't get a 50 shares or 20 likes, you're in the wrong business. Because this business is about people with a real option. They already have a PNM and a UNC. You know, they don't need an next one of those. They have a COP and an ILP and an MSJ. They don't need an next one of those. What the people crying out for is real leadership. We came to the conversation with over a decade of experience in activism. We came to the conversation with over a decade of political conversation, millions of words, hundreds of hours of interviews. I was on the radio for 2 years, every morning, from 6 to 10, talking politics, taking calls, every single day, 4 hours a day. You can't do all of that and not kind of figure this stuff out. You can't just jump in politics and say, well, I don't know, and I don't want to disrespect you, and I don't want to disrespect your team. I like the passion, and I want to tell you this, because you said in your video that you want to help Trinidad and Tobago. If you want to help Trinidad and Tobago, stop trying to be a political party and raise funds for the PEP. You will help Trinidad and Tobago. Tell your handful of followers who latched on to you. You said you didn't call them. Well, they're on your back now. We don't want them back. But tell them, stop attacking the PEP. Trinidad's only hope for a real rescue. The only political organization of substance and value. Now, I don't want us to embarrass you further, and I don't want you to embarrass yourself. Friend, I take it on face value that you have all the degrees that you say you have and all the experience that you say you have. I want to tell you, you're in the wrong race here, really and truly. This politics thing is not for you. It's not for you. You don't understand it. And worse, you're being led by people who don't know, and they don't know that they don't know. So they're going to use you to grind an axe. All one or two of them want is to fight the PEP because they couldn't get away. You know? That's all they want. It's a tantrum. And it's cool. But at some point, again, if we're provoked long enough, we might have to respond. And we don't want that. To be honest, we don't want to be down in the mud fighting like pigs. We don't want that. We're here on a mission to rescue Trinidad and Tobago. We spent 48 hours focused on Petrotrend, reading reports, getting information, talking to people. Today, we put out into the public conversation a solution to Petrotrend that bridges the gap between the government's position and the workers' position and brings to the fore the real position, the people of Trinidad and Tobago who own Petrotrend. Nobody's been talking about them. Those are the most important people here. You could fire all the workers, fire the entire government, and the people of Trinidad and Tobago, still the most important player where Petrotrend is concerned. Still, because it's theirs. It's theirs. That's what it is. That's what we did. We can't be distracted playing schoolyard games. I call this video, stay in your lane. Is real good advice. I don't want the members of the PEP distracted by the foolishness that's happening. Y'all do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing. Do it. You must have the courage of your conviction and back up your words with action. Don't pull down somebody else to make yourself look tall. Do your thing. Come out, do your thing. But I want to tell you, my friend, because you said that you want to help Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm giving you this as a little bit of advice. If you really want to help Trinidad and Tobago, and we will respect you, we will deal with you, we'll give you a position. If that's what you want. You say you want to help, and you're a technocrat. When we get into office, we need all the technocrats we could get. Because we're going to really redo Trinidad and Tobago, reboot the Republic, undo and redo it. So all of the trained technocrats, we have use for you. So I want to tell you something, my friend. If you really want, if you said you're born in Canada, but the Trini parents, and you love this country, if you love this country, do not be an obstacle to its progress. Help and assist the only real political vehicle that exists out there. By now your friend Birchwood, who thought that when we have to deal with trolls who come to just attack the conversation and we dismiss them and we block them, Birchwood told us, Kumbaya is the solution. Everybody hold hands and sing along. I know that someone trolled your wall because they sent me all of the screenshots. And they came and they trolled all of Birchwood's posts. Guess what they did? They delete him and block him. Kumbaya. In the real world, when you have responsibility for what's going on, Kumbaya not cutting it. And you realize that for yourself. You realize that for yourself. So the entire Progressive Empowerment Party recognizes that maybe you got misled. So we want to leave you alone where that is concerned. But we want to invite you to be, if you really want to help Trinidad and Tobago, forget the effort that people are misleading you and telling you that you could pelt a stone all the way from Canada and South Korea and impact the politics in Trinidad and Tobago. Nobody's going to take you on. Your handful of followers, Michael Villanueva, Linda Lead, who's the next? David Archibald. Look at the names I'm calling. These are people who can't fit into any political party. They've thrown tantrums in other parties to get to the PEP. We sent them on their way. They're with you now. They're not going to last. Because all of them, man rat, can't live in one hole. All of that. And I'm telling you that, and I'm telling you for them. Because I know they want something to channel their anger at. No problem. My back's strong. Talk your shit. Nobody taking you on. But if what you really want is a better Trinidad and Tobago, use your connections and the abilities you say you have and raise funds for the PEP. We will gladly work with you as somebody who is helping build the movement, and we'll give you a job. We will give you a job. I see my boy Challenor around. I wonder if Challenor have some time to talk to me about Petrotrin. It's gonna stick though. I know he was making some waves earlier. Let me see if Challenor have some time. Challenor.
Hey, can you hear me?
My brother.
Hey, how we doing? How we doing? How we doing?
I see you had some stuff to say on the Petrotrin today. I thought I would bring you in. Let you add it here.
Well, here's what. Give me no more than 30 seconds, and we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
On Petrotrain.
All right.
Yeah.
Send a message, right?
You call me at a good time.
Right.
Good time.
Well, you're going to come back or you're staying with it?
No. I'm just going to a quiet area right now so I can talk. That's what happened.
Right.
Give me less than 20 seconds.
Nice.
So we can sit and talk in detail.
Challenor, one of our advisors, member of the advisory committee, serious technocrat, and he brings that level of conversation. So I was Challenor, you're in the dark.
Yes, sir.
There you go. There you go, brother.
All right. Let me get some quads, and then we'll have a nice full discussion on this, because everyone needs to hear about it. Hold on. Let me grab one of my chair in my office. Okay. No one is here tonight. That's good, because I'm by myself. I like to be by myself. Nice and quiet. Okay.
The issue you were raising this afternoon, after our video, you said you wanted to speak to something specific.
Right. Yeah, because what happened is that I saw your live, just pretty good. I love the live. I really love it. There are many things that we have to talk about that we haven't touched as yet. And one of them, I don't have all my notes in front of me right now, but one of them is Espinay. Espinay was on the board. The same Espinay who's the chairman of the Petrotrain board. He was in the World GTL board. Then he was there. He also became on the Petrotrain board later on. Now there is a direct relationship between Petrotrain, World GTL, and Nikon Energy. There's a sort of a kind of a musical chairs directors between the World GTL, that failed gas to liquid project, and Nikon Energy and Petrotrain, because there's like 3 or 4 board of directors who was on the board. Sorry?
Interlocking is sitting on every board.
Yeah, but it looks like, but the way how it looks like, Philip, right, between you and I, is that it looks like with the failed project, that $3 billion project that our country ate, and they put on a balance book for Petrotrain. They came back a second time and they rape us again by shutting down Petrotrain. These same people, the same people who was in the World GTL board, Rowley put them on Petrotrain board to finally shut up, to finally get the whole hog. Before they got $3 billion, now they got the whole hog. So you have to look at it. And there was a guy, I don't have the information in front of me because you caught me off guard. But another guy, another director called Chintak, something like that, right? Right. He was also on the World GTL board too. And now he's on the Petrotrain board. So both of them were 2 of them actually were on the World GTL board. And then what happened is that Rowley put them on the Petrotrain board. So what they did is that they crossed for the second time. You see, the first time wasn't good enough. So they come back on the second go around to finally slam the nail in the coffin for us. That's what they're doing.
So from where you sit, you're actually seeing the play is that they want to take Petrotrain.
Right. That's the whole thing. And then what happened is that
by organizing the company, they might end up with Petrotrain the same way Metal got his part. No money down.
Right.
No money.
Right.
Maybe that's why those dozens of containers of catalysts are parked up by the unfinished building so that they could just push.
Right. Of course, because and don't forget now. You see, and there's another part of it too that no one had explored. Malcolm Jones is the one who made the deal, the initial part for that $850 million bond. That bond at that time, Petrotrain. This is not a sovereign bond; it's a corporate bond. But it was a corporate bond with the implied assurance that the Trinidad government was going to back it up. And at that time, we had perfect stellar credit. So was Petrotrain as a corporate entity. However, what they did under Malcolm Jones, and this is nothing to be denied, what they did, when they made a deal with the bondholders, instead of keeping the bond rate, which is the rate that the money that they was going to get back, at between 2.4% to like 4.2%, which is the average yield you're going to get for a bond. What they did, they bumped it up to 7.5%, which is on, I'm sorry, 9.5%, which is unheard of. Who would have a bond a entity like Petrotrain with a perfect credit at the time? Why would they have the bonds so high? And this is what happened. That's another thing no one never looked at.
I want to tell you something, eh? You understand the finance and the machinations at a level that most people won't. And I want to say this to you. I realize that we lose the audience when we speak in terms too technical. They lose the thread as to what exactly went wrong. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So,
yeah, I understand loud and clear.
So if you're gonna tell them that this was a play, link that play, show them like what the desired outcomes was intended to be.
Okay, well, okay, good. So what happened is that, okay, basically, so start from Malcolm Jones. So what it did is that basically, what it did is that we got a bad loan from the beginning. That's what it is. A bad loan with an extremely high interest rate. Imagine you have perfect credit, and the bank give you, let's say, the going rate for a person with perfect credit is 5%. Let's say, for example, 5%. Instead, what it did, for perfect credit, you get jammed with 11%. So what happened is that when they made the deal with the bondholders, somewhere along the line, something happened where either money was passed, or what they did, they made a deal with them where money was taken out of the deal in order to justify that 9.5%. Right? So it's like the spread or the difference that they're normally supposed to be paying is high, extremely high. That's the first part of it. The second part of it is when they were talking about the bondholders and the bondholders were jittery. In 2016 and 2017, before all this happened, the government, the bondholders came to the government and asked them, I said, listen, we know that in 2 to 3 years, you guys have to pay up that $850 million. Do you want us to negotiate right now or not? And this is what happened. And the government refused to talk to anyone. They refused to talk to anyone at all, because it's like Greece. Greece had, for example, I'll use Greece as an example. Greece and some other countries which they were almost defaulted on their bonds. What they would do, they'll make deals and say, you know what? Instead of me getting this high yield, what you'll do, we'll delay the due date for the bonds by 2 to 3 years or 4 years. But in exchange, we're going to bring the rate up, or the money that we're going to pay back, an extra 2 to 3%. We never did that. They never did that. The bondholders was begging the government, right, to talk to us 2 to 3 years. And there's evidence and there's proof. And the government refused. The second part of it, Philip, that everyone needs to know is this. When Rowley spoke, and I'm not coming a doctor, because he's no doctor to me, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care. When he spoke about closing down Petrotrain, he knew what he was doing. Because on that day when he spoke, the rate at which the cost of the loan itself, which the shareholders were buying into, the cost went down. So it went down by about let's say about 10 to 12%, because everybody was jittery, because Rowley was signaling to the market and telling everyone we're not backing that. And by doing that, he tanked the bonds, so the bonds become junk. So nobody will want to buy any junk because they'll think the risk is too high. And that's what he did. And by doing that, if OWTU decide to go get an investor out there, what's gonna happen is that a lot of investors are not gonna put their money into it because it's considered junk. And they get excited. Do you understand what he's doing now? That's the second part. That's the second part he did. So and that was deliberate, because you don't send the signals So what happened was that a lot of the people who had the shares in the loan itself or the bond, a bond is a loan, same thing. So what they do, they were jittery. So what they were doing, some of them were selling our bonds for less than how much they paid for. And I want to do that on the market now. What happens is that everyone is saying, well, if we want to, we can't really back this petroleum bond, because if we do that, we're going to lose our money, because we see that the government is not backing it. But it's not but this is what happened. The government was, initial bond or the initial loan it was given with the implied trust that the government was going to support it. And what Rowley did was to remove the pillars and say, you know what, we're not supporting it. And then it make the bond become junk. And when it becomes junk, now any other investor who wants to invest in Petrotrin as an entity will look at it and say, well, you know what, you have an outstanding bond or outstanding loan of $850 million, but based on the risk assessment, it looks like you're not going to get nothing much. We're not going to get nothing much for it, and it's a bad decision. So by doing that, you scare away investors who have the money to pour into it. You scare them away. And the only person, listen to this now, the only person who can back that bond or back Petrotrin and get them money is someone with a whole lot of cash. So that means one, their finances have a lot of cash that they're going to pour into it, that they don't have to like borrow any money. That is what that's the second part of it. And nobody's seen the machinations behind that and why he's doing what he's doing, right? The third part about it is that, like I said, about the interlocking directorship and everything like that. And also back to that Espine, he owns a company called Aero Marine. And allegedly, it has been alleged that that's supposed to be the so-called transport company. It has been alleged that was going to take our crude oil and send it.
For the imported
oil. And send it out. Right. But you see, Philip, the thing about it is that what people don't understand is that the cost to bring a refinery online is extremely expensive. And the time it takes is a long time. You do not have right now, there's a lot of oil production right now, especially in the United States. The issue is the amount of oil refineries have stayed finite. It has not expanded to match the amount of oil production. And there are reasons behind it. There are environmental reasons. The cost of the refinery is extremely high. So what happened is that you're going to have a lot of refineries that are at full capacity. Right now, in the United States right now, a lot of refineries are at full capacity. They're at full capacity, close to 95, 98%, and everything like that. The issue is that they produce so much oil. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Philip?
I'm listening.
They're producing so much oil, right? They're producing so much oil that the issue is getting the oil to the refineries, and that's a big issue. So what's happening now? Is the refineries are picking and choosing. So what the refineries are doing right now is that they're choosing, like they may take Venezuelan crude because Venezuela is in such a crappy state that Venezuela is selling their sour crude at a extremely low rate. So the refineries like that. So what they'll do, they'll sell. So if Venezuela will sell them their crude, which is like our crude, for about let's say for $20 or $18 a barrel. And then what happened? The refiners here will choose it because they can make a higher profit margin. So what they do, they refine the crude, and when they refine the crude and they break it down into all the different distillates, or gasoline, kerosene, aviation fuel, all that stuff, they sell it back to Venezuela at the international market rate. And this is the problem that we're having, because the issue is if we don't refine our own oil, what's going to happen? They're going to take our sour crude, transport it back to the United States or wherever, process our crude, and sell back the gasoline and the diesel at international rates. That's why we need to have a refinery. Go ahead.
Why the only thing we know how to do is enslave ourselves?
Because we're that stupid, that's why.
Why is that?
Because we're that stupid, we dotish.
We shut down Caroni to put high fructose corn syrup in Matuk's ketchup.
Yep.
Why is it the only thing that we Trinbagonians know how to do is enslave ourselves? So we're going to sell the low-end raw material, and pay a premium for it refined while we have a perfectly good refinery sitting down there?
But Philip, and this is the whole thing. And see, people is talking about all this stuff about with Petrotrin. With Petrotrin is our old refinery. It's a bunch of bullcrap because Philip, the situation is, and people need to know this. We have poured over like $46 billion, right, in improvement on that refinery. And I'll give you one part of it: the ultra low sulfur diesel plant.
Yeah, that made it. That is very important right now. I understand that's the benchmark.
Well, of course, but right, we did that. We did alkalization units and everything like that. Now, that sulfur plant is 98% finished. Now, imagine Manning was a geologist, Rowley was a geologist, and the foundation was built on a fault line. It's going to cost us $230 million to fix it. He lied and told everyone it was $7 billion. He's a liar. It was $230 million. It's 98% finished. Go ahead.
2 geologists give us last built a road, shifting sand, and tried to build a hole in the pitch lake. 2 geologists. Now they're telling us that they built the ultra low diesel plant on a faulty foundation.
Right. So this what happened. So now what it is that so what happened now is that it's 98% finished. Now imagine our money was spent, even though it had a 500 on it. Our money was spent to upgrade and make this ultra low sulfur diesel plant, and it's 98% finished
and not used.
Now, could you imagine? Now it's starting to see what's going on now. Now, as we shut it down the refinery, all we gotta do now is someone with a simple capital injection to come in there, maybe $50 million to bring everything up and running. And they go. And then what happened now, because here's the other part of it. You got the refinery for a fire sale. You turn around now because there's only a finite amount of refineries right now. You turn around now and you leverage the assets of the refinery to get even a bigger loan to pour back into the refinery and something keep for yourself. Do you understand? Is a serious rape that's going on right now?
But Challenor, that's the thing. Because what baffles me is that these people get away with the level of mismanagement that will allow you to set up the diesel plant on a faulty foundation and then just come to the public and say it's faulty.
That is what they're doing.
Challenor, in this country, PricewaterhouseCoopers, I want to use an accounting example.
Oh, please.
PricewaterhouseCoopers in this country was allowed to publish fiction. They were named in the Commission of Inquiry into the CLICO collapse. And it was blamed on PricewaterhouseCoopers and the fiction they were publishing at the behest of the directors of CLICO. And PricewaterhouseCoopers still have a charter and can still get government briefs and contracts internationally.
Well, you see, this is where the problem lies. I have dealt with PricewaterhouseCoopers Cooper on a private level in Tobago on a real estate transaction and stuff like that. But I'm familiar with them. I'm very familiar with them. I know who they are. However, what it is that PricewaterhouseCoopers, their franchise in Trinidad, they're deeply corrupted. And what is happening is that no one is moving against them to say, well, to sanction them and yes, they're right. And to tell them, you know what, enough is enough. Like our United States, PricewaterhouseCoopers and another company, another accounting company, I think it's KPMG. They're another one too here. They were sanctioned here for doing the same crap, for cooking books.
But we have so many of these professionals that are on multiples of boards of companies that have all failed. So what are they bringing to the table other than mismanagement and collapse? The biggest issue that I don't want Trinidadians to lose sight of is the same Wilfred Espinay said in June.
Yes.
That the company made a profit.
Well, and it's exactly what, despite all the mismanagement and all the money stolen, the company still made a profit. Now, for everyone will think that $12 billion is a lot of debt. Yes, it's a good bit of debt, but it's a manageable debt. It's not as if you have a ratio of 5,000 to 1 in terms of revenue
The
versus
union
profit.
said today that the government's position that the country produces 40,000 barrels per day can
Right.
easily be increased to 67,000 barrels per day. Why is that?
They are right, because right now I think we have 461. I don't have the data in front of me. I wish you caught me off guard. But I think it's about 420 oil fields right now that we can restart, and it's still viable. That is still viable, and we can increase the rate. Listen, Venture is another company called I think it's Venture Enterprises LLC. Venture is an Australian company. They got a lease on about like 50 acres acreage on a block in southwest Trinidad. They have increased their own wells from 10 wells to 14 wells, because I look at the report, right, in Trinidad, and they're claiming they have a 33% increase in profit in 1 quarter. And they made a call to their shareholders, and they're saying that within about, I say, about 4 to 5 months, it's going to bump up to 62%. So what is happening is that we're getting an increase in the oil production, and they're seeing it now, but now they're realizing now that they can't bring it back. They can't have their oil to refined in Trinidad, so they may have to seek elsewhere, and that was an issue. And that is why I keep telling everyone over and over again, we need to keep our refinery, because if we lose our refinery, we are now subjected to international market forces. Now the price of oil is going to go up, the price of diesel is going to go up, the price of gasoline is going to go up. All we need is one missile strike in Saudi Arabia, because there's a proxy war going on in Saudi Arabia and Iran with Yemen. One missile strike, the price of oil tomorrow go up $120 a barrel. Guess what's going to happen? Your gasoline is going to go up, the transport cost is going to go up, everything is going to go up. You won't be able to afford bread. You might as well make cake.
All of the following costs. Transport affects everything. Challenor, in a first world developed nation, what office of state would be responsible for investigating and bringing to justice all of these persons that are rumored and alleged to be involved in corrupt self-enrichment, deliberate mismanagement, industrial sabotage? Because Petrotrin, the only thing I could think of, with all the facts that we have now, and we don't have all the facts, but just with the facts we have, and the fact that so many different stakeholders, their positions not lining up, not even close, something is very wrong here, and that the government should not be allowed to carry on business as usual, to do any transaction, to divest anything, until we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, the owners of Petrotrin, have an idea as to what the real situation, what the real condition is. But I want to ask you, in a first world nation, what Office of State Law Enforcement, Justice Department, what do you turn to and ask them to intervene and seek
Right. Well,
we lost Challenor as we asked that question. I don't know if we can get him back. We lost him for a minute, but this is we ended up in a serious conversation here, because if this country loses the refinery is a critical piece, and that is what kept us this strong this long. We were
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so what happened is that here we have like 2 offices. It's like an ombudsman. I can't bring the name to mind right now, but Inspector General. We have an Inspector General here. And the Inspector General office is for all federal contracts, and for everything, for any federal contracts, you have an Inspector General. Or any contract that the government is doing, you have an Inspector General. And the Inspector General is a non-partisan person or office that investigates everything, and everything is down to dollars and cents. That's what it is. And if they think that there's wrongdoing, they investigate. And when they investigate, they refer it to the Attorney General for them to continue prosecution. But it has to be laid out in a clear-cut manner. And so therefore, the evidence is there. We don't have that. We have an ombudsman, allegedly, that's supposed to be doing that. But that's not happening. Our Attorney General is the one who went and dismissed the lawsuit against Malcolm Jones.
Yeah.
Right?
And
right? Go ahead.
This shutdown of Petrotrin will be releasing ANV Oil and Drilling from their responsibility under fake oil.
But this is exactly what they're doing, and this is exactly what's happening. Right? This is what they're doing. So they're doing that because, as far as they're concerned, you see, by shutting down the refinery, it does two things. To me, as far my opinion, is that no longer the ANV oil drilling fiasco, the $100 million, gone. That's gone.
Are they trying to
Unipet? Go ahead. No, as you were saying, go ahead.
No, are they trying to sanitize the scene of crime? Somebody wrote me something, and I want to give it to you. The majority of the corruption by the governments over the 56 years of bondage was passed through the refinery. Understand?
Of course.
Not only refining oil, but filtering the wealth of the nation. This is an attempt to get rid of the evidence. See the big picture. When they sell and everybody keep their job, then they smell like roses. This is like burning down the house of records. It is an attempt to hide the truth because they know the consequences that pending if the people of TNT wake and realize the flavor of water they're drinking. The truth here is it's starting to reek.
Well, this one because no one is stopping them. Who's gonna stop them? Do you notice that the DPP is not saying not one word? There's no ombudsman to come and say, you know what, something is wrong here and we need to stop this, right? No one is doing anything because they are custom raping our resources. And don't forget now, $3 billion of that debt, of that $12 billion debt, came from that gas to liquid project. And some of the material they used was, some of the parts they used was from our own Mexican oil refinery. And they passed it off as new. This is part of the whole scheme. That same World GTL bastards, they're the ones. And now they came back now. And the guy now who's in charge of the new company who bought the assets of World GTL, which are still on the balance book of Petrotrin, he bought it for $30 million. That same guy was the bad guy, right? This guy was also a lobbyist for the Trinidad and Tobago government. I think in 2001, 2003, something like that, right? He was a lobbyist for the Trinidad and Tobago government, allegedly, and he was paid a total of $5.1 million US twice for being a lobbyist. And he was also the so-called go-between guy, right, between World GTL and the Trinidad and Tobago government. Now, the other part of it now he has Nikon Energy. And then, as part of the Nikon Energy, some of the same people who was on the board of Petrotrin is now on Nikon Energy.
I had to interrupt you because I had to ask this question. What's our next step? Do we file an injunction? Do we get lawyers and take this to a court? Do we involve the justice system? Because I don't know. I don't want to tell people shut down the country, burn tires, block the road. That seems to be
right. Extreme.
We are a democracy, but we're a republic. We're a nation ruled by law. Where are the laws that protects the people here? What do we do now? Because the people want to know. If we wake them up, what do we tell them is the next course of action?
Well, let's see. You know what? That's a little tricky right now. And I wish I could give a clear-cut answer on this right now. Like, I would tell them the first thing we're going to do, we're going to march. We're going to march and let them know that we are aware of what's going on. We are aware of what's going on. First thing first, SPD needs to go. Secondly, because of the fact that this same board was involved with the gas to oil fiasco at the time, you need to get rid of that whole board because the board supposed to represent us, and they're nothing more than they're supposed to represent us and our assets, and that's what they are. They're stewards, right? It doesn't belong to the PNM. It doesn't belong to them. It doesn't belong to the OWT. It belongs to us, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. This is what it is. Now, there's another twist into this also with the same guy on Nikon Energy, which I'm investigating right now. And this guy has also some ties to some people that was involved with an Afghanistan political figure also. So it's a little deeper than what you think it is. But I'll put that aside for now. But the thing about it is that this same guy with Nikon Energy, with Nikon Energy, they came in. And now you have some of the guys from the old Petrotrin board who make Petrotrin lost $3 billion, Nikon Energy board. There's also Alison Lewis, that same Alison Lewis, who was the chairman of the Port Authority, right? Remember the Sea Bridge fiasco, right? I'm sorry, remember she was the chairman of the board? Remember that whole incident, Alison Lewis? Guess where she is now.
But do you know that confidential documents are missing from the port now?
Of course.
That's the news today. That confidential documents, board documents, are missing from the port now. This
well, go ahead.
Challenor seems to be a band of criminals and thieves. I can't put it another way.
Well, this is what's going on. This is what we have right now. It's calculated, you know. This is calculated, Philip. This is 100% calculated. This is not like, well, it's a fly-by-night situation. This is like something like about 2 to 3 years in the making. And it's calculated. Go ahead.
Planning, they're executing this thing with precision. This took planning. They have the people.
Of course.
They have the people dumbed down and distracted to the point where the average person don't even know that the size of the wrong that this is. The government actually conned people into believing that this is a good thing for the country, that it will free up money. And I had to ask them today, the money comes from Petrotrin. What money
of course.
Bring up?
Well, and this is the whole. See, Philip, this is what happens when you have a party that don't care and don't have a vision. And as far as it concerned, yeah, you're right. This guy put here the ex-chairman of Trintoc, Walton James in Nikon too. So it's a whole den of thieves, as far as I'm concerned. Right? I don't care who they are.
Riding hard. Challenor, listen, it's late here. It's like 12:15. I didn't expect to keep you or the audience back so long. I think that you and I need to talk some more, and we need to get our ducks in a row. We need to come tomorrow evening. I want us to be in a better position. I want to do some research on my end. Because there must be an office of state. It shouldn't require shutting down the country. There should be an office of state that could say, hold your hand. You cannot do any transactions until we make a determination as to the legality. I think we lost Challenor again. But I know he's going to be watching. As I wrap it up, you're hearing more and you're learning more. Spread the word. Talk to your friends. Talk to your family. This is not like how the government is making it out to be. I want Trinidad and Tobago to understand this. Do not compare Petrotrin to Wassa and TNTech and any other. Don't compare it to NIPDEC. Don't compare it to the special purpose companies. Petrotrin is a different animal. Petrotrin is the means by which this country earns money. Without Petrotrin, the government is going to tax people into poverty. Anyway, listen, it's late. We've been doing this a while. We're going to be back here tomorrow with more information, but you all have to do your part to it. You have to wake your people up, and you have to get in touch with us, and you have to come on board. You have to join us. We need strength in numbers. We have to stand up for our country, and it's not just our responsibility. Somebody said today, it's not that the people don't care. They don't want to care. And I agree. I agree. At a point in my life where I want to just be on well, it used to be Maracas Beach till they destroy it, till the UNC and the PNM mash it up, loot it, make a mess of it, and now have men with chairs fighting to kill people for $5 to rent a chair. That's our Maracas Beach. This country is so broken, so mismanaged, so driven into a cesspool. You want a better country or you're leaving. That's your choices. And if you want a better country, orange. We here, we're working hard. peptrinbago@gmail.com, 347-4PEP, peptt.com. PEP app, the PEP, APP app available on all the app stores. There is not one other political organization anywhere on the landscape of this country standing with the people tonight. Workers from Petrotrin sent me a message to say that they are coming to our meeting Saturday. Petrotrin, we're trying to go Point-a-Pierre this week. We do not know the timelines. We're trying to get information. We do not know the timelines. Even if the workers accept severance, that doesn't shut Petrotrin down. The only people who could decide to sell our refinery is us. So regardless of what the government, the board, and the workers do, and I told the workers that today, we willing to work with y'all, but y'all have to work with us. We do not want to lose our refinery. We want to get our refinery profitable. We're saying defer the $12 billion debt from Manning and Malcolm Jones Frolic. Defer it. Defer it completely. The royalties and the outstanding taxes, write them off. The people who owe Petrotrin, pursue them with vigor. Do not stop. Cut off all credit for anybody who's not demonstrably on time with their payment. Fire the entire board. Fire the entire top management. Retain the best and the brightest. Keep it lean. Keep it functional. There are guidelines. All industries. I want to tell you something. To fly a plane, there are guidelines. You follow the guidelines, the plane will take off, it'll fly, and it will land. To keep a plane operational, there are guidelines. Just follow the guidelines. And I'm using that because probably the most technical thing human beings do is keep that many planes flying every single day. To operate Petrotrin, just follow the guidelines. There are international benchmarks. There is a refinery as close as St. Croix doing 600,000 barrels a day. That's 6 times the size of Petrotrin. We could access international assistance to guide us. We do not need to be trusting these charlatans and political pretenders who are trying to plunder this country. It appears last night I was told that the lotto numbers is 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and I find that is impossible. I used to gamble. I used to play poker. I'll tell you something, poker. You break ace, king, queen, jack. You know how astronomical the odds are that you pull that 10 of the same suit. We had a lotto draw 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and nobody find that strange. I think these people, not even Gary Blake, I wish the FBI could help us, but that is United States Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're not part of the Federation of States that is the United States. We're not. Listen, these people are not even trying to hide anymore. They are literally looting the country. You cannot sit down. You cannot be dumbstruck. You cannot be mute. You have a responsibility to yourself, to your loved ones, to your country. Race politics bring us here. Race politics are helping us now. What we need is one people under one flag. Ignore the bullshit about what mommy and tanty and granny and papi used to vote for. That bring us to here. Stop buying nonsense. Stop being divided. You see the people who everything is a shaming of each other. Stop that. At this level, stop it. Join together, guide. Stop buffing and shaming and embarrassing each other. We had to work together. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we have to stand together, especially the 99% of us that are suffering and will suffer more. We are suffering in the third wealthiest nation in the Western Hemisphere. This is a country that is a contradiction of errors. We suffer drought while flooding. Listen, this cannot continue. You have to know this cannot continue. You have to know, and I want to promise you, put a progressive government party in office and there will be no escape, no hide. We will bring every single one of them to justice, and they will watch you with long faces and tears in their eyes. I am warning them now that if the people choose a real government, I want to tell you, I will drive the excavator. I will drive the backhoe and the bulldozer that throw down them strip malls and cineplexes that they're building on food-bearing land. We're playing the fool with this country for too long. It is time to stand up as one people under one flag. Everything that the national anthem calls for, be that. Be that. Be a citizen, civic-minded and patriotic. Stand together. There is only one political organization in this country built on strong democratic principles, dedicated to undoing and redoing Trinidad and Tobago, and that is the Progressive Empowerment Party. You want a better country? Get on board. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.